guys, it is now November 2020 and we have finally made it to the Canary Islands.
Just in time.
We just had our first longer passage and it was pretty epic. We had planned to go for like 5 days, right? And it took us 4 days and 1 hour to sail 600 nautical miles. So that was really good.
It's really fast.
Yeah, it went way better than planned because of, well, all the reasons you saw in the last video. So it was just amazing. And yeah, we'll do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah. As you've seen, we worked on Blue a lot to get her ready to do a crossing, but we still have some jobs to tackle on the islands. And believe it or not, it's a good place to do it. But before we get into boat work again, we're going to explore Lanzarote and find out if it is as impressive as everyone says.
Also, we are not really sure yet if we are going to cross the Atlantic this winter with the pandemic still going on and everything. And
because it's November 2020 right now.
But we have a couple of friends that are crossing right now. We have a couple of friends that are crossing in December. And we're gonna stay in touch with them and ask what it's like when they're there. Because until now we've heard really mixed messages about what it's like on the other side of the pond. So we're waiting with that decision for later. But on the other hand, we're not really in a hurry at the moment. So let's hang out here.
So that's why we are in Marina Rubicon, and we believe that this is the best place to set up camp because the marina is beautiful, and that's basically the reason.
Yeah.
We can rent a car, see the islands, and show you the best parts of it.
They're really aggressive, like very strong also. They literally almost hit the cup out of my hand. Hey guys, we are back in business. We are currently in the Marina Rubicon on Lanzarote, and we've been here a few days now. We've been in and out and anchored some places, but we haven't really filmed much because we've just been, I don't know, chilling a bit. But today it is really hot. It's about 30 degrees after a couple of days of 20 degrees. We met some cool people. They're gonna go snorkeling today, so they asked if we wanted to come with them. It's like a beach a little bit down. It's about 20 minutes by dinghy, and just enjoy the day a bit and go swimming, because we haven't done that in forever. I don't even remember the last time we went swimming, and I really want to go. Are you up for some break, babe?
I'm always ready to have some fun.
We can finally use these again. Alex can finally try his new big fins. Maybe we see some cool stuff again. Are you going in full wetsuit today?
Yes.
Do you remember, by the way, when the last time was we went swimming?
No. Life on the water is not life in the water. It's Pampar Diki Lingi. Pampar Diki Dingi.
The Canary Islands are supposed to be a real paradise for diving. That is probably why you find diving schools and centers all over the islands. They say that the waters can be crystal clear up to 30 meters. It says 0.4. How much did we have to put in it? Which sounds very impressive to me. Hello! What kind of funky bird are you? Next to that, the temperature of the water is always around 20 degrees, which I do think is pretty chilly for us humans, by the way, but it provides a perfect habitat for all kinds of underwater species.
There are very different kinds of jerry cans, and I gotta say I like this one the most.
Good.
Why, you ask?
No, I didn't.
I'm glad you asked. This one doesn't burp. You can fill it easy, and especially because this one is back inside and is not clunky around the handles.
So where did you find this fantastic thing? It was somewhere in Greece. Thanks to the volcanic origin of the islands, the underwater landscape is filled with caves, niches and reefs. And for all these reasons, different parts of El Hierro, La Palma and Lanzarote are officially categorized as marine reserves. One of those marine reserves is Playa Blanca, which happens to be right next to the Marina of Rubicon. This means we don't have to go far to see some cool sea creatures.
Nice to see you again. Oh, cool. No, we were really slow. Then we said hi to some friends that are on anchor, and we realized we forgot fuel. So we had to go back because we're like, oh, we have a very small engine, we might not make it. So then Alex had to go back.
Unfortunately, we didn't see any crazy sea creatures. We did see a bunch of fish we hadn't seen before in the Med, and our friends even saw an octopus, but too bad for us, we were not that lucky. So after a short snorkel of about 20 minutes, we realized we do not have enough body fat or thick enough wetsuits to stay out here any longer. Sorry for that, guys. Maybe next time we should just go with one of the diving schools. Anyways, on the way back, we battled against wind and waves for about 25 minutes in our obviously now undersized dinghy. After all, it is the Atlantic Ocean, and our dinghy might just be only suited for the calmer bays of the Med. Nonetheless, after a very bumpy, wet and chilly ride, we safely make it back into the marina.
We're back. We just went past some of our friends. Because they're on anchor outside, and I borrowed a wetsuit, and it was good because it was cold. I forgot my own wetsuit. We warmed up, had a nice drink, and now we're back. And I think it is time to have a warm shower, even though I'm feeling better already. My hands were completely dead before. And then make some nice dinner.
Enough cold waters for now. Let's just hit the road.
What's happening today?
We've been in the marina for quite a few days, maybe even weeks, and we haven't shown you anything because you used the time to just edit and be miserable.
What? Oh.
And then we decided that we shouldn't be miserable anymore and rent a car to see the island. So we're gonna show you a bit of the island today. If you don't like land adventures, then I'm sorry about that, but it's gonna happen. We're gonna see some caves, we're gonna go to a natural pool, and I'm looking forward to your comments. Hope you enjoy.
Alright, yeah, so we're just gonna go drive over the island, see some cool stuff. It's actually really pretty island. It's a bit strange because it's all volcany and there's just black rocks everywhere and not much vegetation. But it does give you some pretty cool cliffy views, so we're gonna go look at those though. Oh, by the way, we rented the car at the airport and it costs like €8 a day. It's really cheap, and we had this really nice guy on our pontoon, Brandon. He actually said this was one of the better companies, Autoreisen, and he actually drove us there so we could get a car. So that was really cool, and we just decided to get it for like a week so we could just have some fun. Lanzarote is not a big island. From north to south, it is only about 60 kilometers, but the roads are hilly and towns are too far apart for walking, so a car does come in very handy. You don't even have to visit anything in particular, just driving around and taking in the surreal landscape is already a great way to spend your day. But today we are not just mindlessly cruising around, we are headed towards El Golfo, which is a little fishing town on the southwest side of Lanzarote. We got some strong west winds blowing over the island today, and when we drive over the top of the hill, we are surprised by the incredible view we get from the car. The big waves crashing onto the beach look so violent and impressive. We are honestly very happy not to be out there with Blue at the moment. Unfortunately, there is not a single spot for a quick stop with the car, so we have to head directly down to town, which is right next to the green lagoon called Charco de los Clicos. This green lagoon is pretty cool, to be honest. It was formed after a volcanic eruption in 1730. The crater of the volcano got flooded, and due to the high concentration of seaweed algae, the water turned green. Even though it seems separated from the ocean by the Black Beach, it is actually connected through underground tunnels. The lagoon got its name, Charco de los Clicos, because it used to be filled with a shellfish called clicos. But at some point, 2 turtles were released in the lagoon and they ate them all. So now it's just a green lagoon. The town El Golfo itself is pretty cute. It is not very touristy and basically consists of a black beach and one road that is filled with little seafood restaurants.
We made our way to the northwest part of the island, El Golfo. On the entrance part of El Golfo, there's the Green Lagoon, and on the end of El Golfo, there's a natural pool where you're supposed to swim because it's amazing. But we have, for a few days, we have northwesterly winds that blast from the Azores actually down through Madeira up to the Canary Islands. And because of that, we have waves hitting the shores, and the natural pool is completely covered in foam and waves, and it looks amazing, but we can't swim. Some of you know that we are wholehearted volcano aficionados, so this is the perfect island for us. The whole island looks like Etna. So if one wants to, one could walk 12 kilometers up this direction and see the same kind of stuff. Or one could go this way up the Timanfaya National Park and go on a bus tour around the crater. But who would want to see that? I'm confident enough to say that usually our video footage is proper good. And we expected some killer shots on the ride through the national park. And don't get me wrong, the drive around the craters is amazing. But it's a bit difficult to create something visually appealing, worthy of your time, when racing through these winded roads with a rundown coach bus, with glary scratched windows, and a broken stereo. I guess it's something you'd have to check out yourself. Nature, 5 out of 5.
So close.
Presentation.
I got it.
The coolest thing ever.
If you have watched this far, you must like our honesty, and for more honesty in your life, hit the subscribe button. You can look forward to boat upgrades and Atlantic crossing preparations, and in a faraway future, we might even cross. Yay!
What's happening?
Mental. We got like 40 knots and rain. It's just
Within seconds.
within nothing. Like it was basically not raining. I mean, if you go out there, you're gonna be like, the rain's gonna go straight through you. That's 35 knots, excluding the dust. See nothing in the marina. Like you can see about 6 boats, and then it's just water. By the way, this is a very good test to see if our spray hood works good again, because I sprayed like this FAP seal on it to see if it's watertight again. It seems to be holding up so far. And the bimini isn't, by the way. That is completely soaking through. This is coming straight through the bimini. See that?
Yeah.
It's not holding at all. So we,
Okay.
so we have to get more of that stuff to put it on there, huh? Oh.
That's unreal. Honestly, like all day it was 20 to 25 and we got used to it, and after a while you really don't notice. But then out of nothing the sky turned completely black with the occasional thunder, and then 35 and rain just coming diagonally into the cockpit.
We hope you noticed that we always try to add another layer to our videos, because this is not a sailing channel. We just happen to be sailing. We were wondering what kind of story we want to tell next to sailing and boat life. Looking at our daily planning, we get most of our knowledge from locals, cruisers or navionics. It's just the most up to date. And especially this year, it is essential to know what's up on a weekly basis. But generally, it's a good idea to have cruising guides on board. We are lucky to have been gifted a rather old cruising guide of the Atlantic Islands from 1999. So we think it is a great idea to have a bit of a blast from the past and find out how yachting has evolved over the past 22 years on the islands. Especially the development of yacht harbors is pretty exciting when looking at the old photographs.
So skimming through the book, we especially noticed how sailing has become really domesticated in such a short time. Especially if you read some of the parts in this book, you just think like you're encountering badlands and uncharted territory that is only suitable to sail for the most experienced sailors. I mean, listen to this passage.
If the barometer falls rapidly, a southerly gale is imminent, and unless berthed in Puerto de Naos, Puerto Calero, or possibly Playa Blanca, it is best to put to sea.
I don't know if we would still follow this advice nowadays, because there are so many more marinas that are actually protected from most wind angles. I mean, right now, I don't know if you can hear it, but the wind is howling for almost a week now, and it's gonna be howling for the next week. And there are still a couple marinas that are exposed to southerly swell, but there are way more that are now protected. So you have a lot more options if you need to hide out. And I don't think there's really any necessity anymore to put out to sea when there are certain winds coming in.
We believe especially the ARC did their fair share to foster the development of the marine leisure industry, not just as a cruising destination, but especially as an outfitting and maintenance location for yachts heading out for blue water adventures. But that's a story for another video.